Hello, I am Ashley and I dabble. I recently decided to try out Scribe because I couldn't afford to buy a lot of books and I also wanted to see if I could get into digital books more. Excuse the noise in the background if you can even hear it. My window is open and my roommate is playing music downstairs. Combined with recent events, I have decided that I will focus this TBR on Black content available on Scribe. I have a free trial right now and I'm taking advantage while deciding if I will continue using the service. I have multiple lists of books on the platform separated by topic and author. I will link my profile below, which shows the different lists that I ended up creating. For the next month, I will be focusing on getting through the Black content and reviewing the different books. I would like to note that I do have other lists that I plan on reading, but I want the majority of what I read to focus on Black creators through Scribe. One of the first lists I created was my poetry list. I just released a book, links below. I'm also working on another poetry book right now. I have always written better while reading other poetry, and I wanted to start reading more modern poetry. On my poetry list is Helium by Rudy Francisco. I will be honest, I finished that book already and I loved it. I bookmarked some of the poems and I will be giving a more detailed poetry review later on after reading some more. Don't Call Us Dead by Danez Smith is what I am working through now. It is good, but I just wish I had it in print. It's been good so far, and I usually read a couple poems a day right now. The other two books on my Black Poetry Scribe list is The Crown Ain't Worth Much by Hanif Abdur Hakib. I don't know if I said that right. I'm sorry if I butchered the name. And The Tradition by Jericho Brown. I'm looking forward to these books and will probably finish them quickly. I finished Helium in about 3 or 4 days of just sitting and reading for a half hour to an hour every day. The next list I have is Black fiction. On this list, I have An American Marriage by Tayari Jones. I am very late in the game with reading this book. It's about a couple who gets married, but then the husband is suddenly arrested for a crime that he didn't commit. She finds her love challenged and falling for another man, the best man, at her wedding. Parable of the Sower by Octavia E. Butler is next on the list. I loved her book Kindred when I was younger and haven't really read another book since then that was by her. This is a science fiction fantasy book that focuses on Lauren. Her family is killed and she must help other refugees get to safety. I'm giving a very short description of the books on purpose because I'm planning on going in as blind as possible. I don't like knowing too much because I will then find some reason to be apprehensive or something that sounds disappointing about the book. The next is a romance book called Pink Slip by Katrina Jackson. I found this book on Twitter because I started following the author. It's about a woman who becomes the personal assistant to two spies and pursues a relationship with them. I am so bad at describing books, you guys. Look up the descriptions yourself if you want more details. The last list I created is a list for my own personal knowledge. I title it Black Lives Matter. On it, I have a bunch of nonfiction books that I plan on reading in the next month as well. The first book on that list is Freedom is a Constant Struggle by Angela Davis. For this, I will read the actual description because I can't do it justice with a short one. So it is described as the activist and scholar Angela Y. Davis has been a tireless fighter against oppression for decades. Now, the iconic author of Woman, Race, and Class offers her latest insights into the struggles against state violence and oppression throughout history and around the world. Reflecting on the importance of Black feminism, intersectionality, and prison abolitionism, Davis discusses the legacies of previous liberation struggles, from the Black freedom movement to the South African anti-apartheid movement. She highlights connections and analyzes today's struggles against state terror from Ferguson to Palestine. Facing a world of outrageous injustice, Davis challenges us to imagine and build a movement for human liberation, and in doing so, she reminds us that freedom is a constant struggle. I am interested in this book because I was reading an autobiography about her and became intrigued about her past and involvement with the Black Panther Party. The next book is by Safia Bukhari. It's called The War Before. It discusses how she became a Black Panther, went to jail, and survived that experience. The book after that is Back to Black, Retelling Black Radicalism for the 21st Century by Kahinde Andrews. This book focuses on the history of Black radicalism. I know for me, I may struggle with this because I don't like historic books very much. It's hard for me to read any kind of history book. For example, I was a music major and music history was my least favorite subject. It was so boring. I'm sorry. It just was not interesting. Okay, so the next book is From Black Lives Matter to Black Liberation by Keeanga-Yamahtta Taylor. This book talks about the history of the Black Lives Matter movement following Mike Brown's death. This happened when I was aware, so I remember it, but this is going to be good to refresh my memory since it's been a while and my memory cannot be trusted. The next book is Black Marxism by Cedric J. Robinson. This is a fairly new topic for me because I didn't realize I was on the socialist side of things until I looked it up. Some people consider Marxism a form of socialism. Some people consider it communist. I want to see how Black Marxism applies to our current situation and if I agree with the philosophy and ideas. I'm sure I'll agree with all of the ideas or most of the ideas, but I like to go into detail before declaring myself as something or believing in something. I learned that lesson in life fairly early with that my beliefs can change and will change, and I should definitely do research before I declare things outright without knowing like what the details are. Anyway, the last book on my Black Lives Matter list is White Rage by Carol Anderson. This book focuses on the reaction of white people to Black liberation and freedom. I feel like this book will make me the most sad, but I do want to know more historical context. I never know when I have to defend myself nowadays, especially online with people bringing up this old excuse of Black on Black crime and how it's killing the most, like kills more Black people than police do. But then I'm like, that can be applied anywhere because proximity is a thing. And if that's the case, then white people are the worst because they're killing Black people and white people. Like, sorry, that's just funny to me. Like, okay, that just proves that now police are killing white people and then white people are killing white people because of proximity. So, I mean, anyway, so that is all for this video. That is my list, and at the end of June, I will be giving a full review of Scribd along with book reviews for each of these books that I read. I don't have a Goodreads, and I plan on leaving a detailed review on my blog. I don't know if I'll get a Goodreads to do these reviews. I don't know. I might not. I'll decide later. So thank you for watching or listening, and check out my description for the link to my Scribd profile as well as a full list of books I plan on reading. Stay safe and talk to you later.